Hi guys, welcome to part 1 on my series of learning how to crochet. We'll get straight to the point. To start, I'm just using a regular acrylic yarn that I have. If you look on the yarn, you can see hook size 5mm. So I have the matching hook right here, just like this. And I like to find my end through the center so that we can just pull it like so, and we don't have to worry about our yarn flopping all over as it unrolls. So now that I have some length, the first thing we are going to learn is, the slip knot. Now there's a lot of ways to do this. The easiest one for me and the way that I do it is I just leave several inches of length there. I will take that tail end and put it over top of the working end. So the working end, I call it that, is the one that's attached to the yarn still. And I'm just going to put my fingers right through that loop, and I'm going to grab that working end and pull it like so. So we'll do that one more time. Leave a few inches, put that over top and make a loop, fingers through the loop, and we're going to pull the other through. And now we can put that right on our hook and tighten it up. All right, now that we have our slip knot on our hook, we are going to take this working end, and what I like to do is I like to just loop it over my index finger there. This is something you're going to want to experiment with and just see what works for you, what's comfortable. There isn't really a right or wrong way of doing it. However works for you is totally fine. And then with my thumb and my ring finger, I just like to hold that tail end steady. It will help with tension and just keeping everything in place. So now we are going to make our chains. Let's chain, we'll just do 13 for this swatch. So here we go. This will be our foundation. Well, how we do that is we are going to yarn over by placing the yarn over our hook. We're going to take that hook and face it towards us, and we're going to pull it through that little loop. Okay, so there we have our first chain. So that's one. Same thing, yarn over towards us, and we're going to pull it right through that loop. There's two. And now yarn over through the loop. There's three. So you can see we're forming these little loops around each other. We have 1, 2, and 3. And I'm just going to continue on until I've done 13. So now I'm just going to count and make sure that we do in fact have 13, and I suggest everybody do this for every single row. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 is that last one. So now we're going to start with the single crochet. How we're going to do that is, if you look in each of these chains, it comes down sort of as a V, and where we're going to place our hook is we're never going to do it into the one that is attached to the hook. We're going to do it into this one, the one over. Okay, so that little fellow right there. So we're going to go in through that loop, yarn over, pull through. Now you should have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over one more time, and pull it through both. So that's our first single crochet. I'll do it a couple more times, nice and slow. So the next loop is going to be right there, that next one. We're going to take our hook and we're going to go right into that loop, yarn over, scoop up till we have 2, yarn over, and we're going to pull that right through both of those. Okay, so now we have 2 single crochet. Third, we'll go into the next loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, through both. And that's all there is to it. So I'm going to continue on until I've reached the end, and then I'll show you how to do the last single crochet and the turning stitch. Okay, now that we've come to the end, you can see I have my last little chain right there. So we're just going to do a regular single crochet, yarn over, pull it through the loop, 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, and pull through both. Oops. Now this is where I like to just pause and make sure that we should have 12 single crochets. We did 13 as our foundation, which will create, because we have 1 turning chain, 12 single crochets. So if you look, each one is just like the chain basically. So we have the 1 loop there, 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 and there. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so at the end of every row, especially as a beginner, I do suggest that you count and make sure that you have the appropriate number of stitches. This will just save you a lot of time, because there are times where you can accidentally put 2 into 1 chain, or you can miss a chain by accident. So always count at the end of each row. Now to turn our work, we are going to chain 1 after that last stitch. Okay, so it should look like that. And we're just going to turn our work around until it looks like this. Now, there's a couple ways that you can find where to place your hook. You can pull it apart and see those little spaces in between. That's the way I like to. And also, if you look from the top, it should be underneath. Now this, I'm just going to do this quickly. This is not where we're going to place our hook. But from the top, you should see it underneath both of the loops for each single crochet. So now for our first one, if you pull it apart, you can see it right there, as well as if you look at it from the top, you can see the 2 loops there, that little V shape. So we're going to go in through the loop, and I'll just show you. See, we have that little V right on our hook. So we're going to yarn over, pull that through, yarn over, through both loops. So it's the exact same thing, single crochet. We're just doing it in the loops instead of just the basic chain. So next one, we're going to find that next spot, and we're going in underneath both of those loops. We're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull that through, 2 on our hook, yarn over, and through both. Okay, now as we go through, you can see all those little spaces where we're going to be placing our hook. Now that we're coming to the end, I'm going to show you, because this part can be a little bit tricky. If you just look like this, it looks like we only have one left. But when in fact, when you look from the top, you can see we have this stitch right here, as well as that one. So you want to be careful on that last row, that you do get that last stitch in there, or else, again, when we count our stitches, we are going to be down a stitch. So for this one, you want to definitely check and look from the top, and that's where we're going to insert our hook. So underneath these two. Oops. It's a lot trickier trying to demonstrate it on camera, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, right there. And then we're gonna scoop up our yarn over through both loops. So as I'm approaching the end of my row here, I just want to show you, if you figured out you've made a mistake or you've dropped a stitch somehow, basically it's not like knitting. It's very easy to pick it back up again. So we just take it, pull it out to where our mistake was, and then from there we can redo the whole section. Just put your hook right back in and fix our mistakes. So I've reached the end of the swatch that I'd like to make. I've just placed my last single crochet into the last stitch there. And what I'm going to do to finish it off is I'm just going to yarn over, chain one, and I'm going to pull a lot of extra length there. And then I'm going to trim that working cord, pull the end through, and just give it a nice tug. And that'll tie the knot there, or that will tighten the knot, I should say. And now something that I like to do with my work is I like to just weave in the ends. And here, I'm not sure if you can see, I just have like this knitting needle. You can use any wide tooth needle that you have. I like this for videos, especially because it's easy to thread it. And then I'm just going to go through. We'll do it on this side. And I'm going to weave it through so that it is basically invisible but secure at the same time. Now this doesn't have to be perfect, does not have to be uniform. I just like to sneak it through a few stitches.